Well, when first Tim was born, of course, I was devastated, to know that he was disabled and didn't have any idea what to do with him. And but he was my third child, so I had a little bit of knowing of what to do with the little ones like that. And I was going to a pediatrician at that time with him, which told me not to do anything with Tim, but just to lay him on the couch or the bed and leave him. I went home and told my mother, and my mother says, "Oh no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do him just like you did all your other children. And you're going to do the same thing with teaching him just exactly like you taught the other two sons that I had." I had no intention of putting him somewhere anyway. And at that time we were told, oh gosh, I can't remember. He was a little bit older then. I don't remember whether he was 4 or 5 or something. They told us about Muscatattack. My mother and I went to Muscatattack and looked at it. And when we saw the room, it was where he would be. It was a great big room. They had like baby beds in there, and they had some places where they laid him on the floor. And when we got out, my mother said no. I said, no, I'm not going to do that either. So I ruled Muscatattack out because that's where he would have been. He would have been in the bed and on the floor, and in the bed and on the floor. That's what we figured he'd be. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So that time we decided, no, he wasn't going anywhere. He's staying at home. Worked with him here. And went to the rehab up there in Jeffersonville. Of course, I'm in New Albany, so it was right a little town next to us. And went up there and had therapy and speech. Of course, they tried speech therapy, but that didn't work too well, and things like that. But we did the best we could do. Of course, the other two, they were all 2 years apart. So at that time, when Tim was 4, they were 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and they did a lot to help him, and included him in with the neighbor kids. Took him outside, and when they were playing baseball in the backyard, he became their what they call him, the one that, whether they was safe or not, and stuff like that. So he got included with the neighborhood kids too, and they included him. So even though he couldn't do anything, said in the chair, they found things for him to do. He was trying to umpire, and he'd say whether they were safe or not, and then they'd take his word because they were arguing whether they were safe or weren't safe. So they decided, they'd say, "Tim, okay, you decide, and then we'll go with you." So it was really nice that they all included him in things to do,